In the headlines, resident doctors embark on indefinite strike. DSS produces 8 out of 12 Sunday Igbo's aides. Court adjourns hearing to August 4th. Late arrival of electronic voting machines prompts shift in Kaduna Council polls. And on the foreign scene, 8 found dead in wildfires. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News. I'm Zainab Bala. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. First Vice President, Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Christopher Aromi Adejo, spoke to Trust TV on the ongoing strike embarked upon by resident doctors. He complained that government have consistently reneged on their promises and have blatantly refused their demands despite calling off the previous strike and giving them a 4-week turned 5-month ultimatum. Dashan Hussein Osman tells us more.
In what seems like the only way to press home their demands, doctors under the auspices of Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors commenced on an indefinite strike today, despite calls by the federal government for them not to. Efforts to reach president of the association at their secretariat on the issue proved abortive, as the building was totally deserted. We, however, got through to the first vice president.
They have no moral justification to say that. They have no right to be ashamed to even make such a statement, because they had 100 days to respond to this. They asked us to give them 5 weeks, this is more than 4 months now. They should be ashamed of them saying that. That should take the health of Nigerians to heart. They should be ashamed of themselves. Whoever said that should be called to order. It's an apology to Nigerians, whoever said that.
The conditions, same as before, include payment of hazard allowances, full payment of salaries of all house officers and residents on the Give Miss platform, full payment of members owed up to 19 months' salary in state hospitals, and the immediate payment of balance of 2020 and 2021 medical residency training funds, among others. The association, while apologizing to Nigerians and urging federal government to live up to their oaths, say they avoided the strike by all means but are not calling it off until the requests are met.
So let the government live up to their oath too. Because my own oath told me I have to take care of myself, so that I can be stable enough, I can be able to take care of others. An hungry doctor is an angry doctor, and an angry doctor cannot perform to the best of his ability. And that's why I'm calling the MDCM boss out, because he's in charge of action on behavior. Who will discipline him?
On the other hand, federal government on Sunday say it was not aware of any plan by the association to embark on strike on Monday. Dashan Hussein Osman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
National Primary Healthcare Development Agency on Monday inspected the 4,080,000 Moderna vaccine doses donated by the U.S. to double up efforts in battling a third wave of infections. Speaking while inspecting the vaccines at the National Strategic Cold Store, the Executive Director, MPHCDA, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, said an effective cold chain management of any COVID-19 vaccine is key to ensuring the success of the national vaccination program. Taking newsmen on a tour, Faisal said Nigeria can store COVID-19 vaccines, including the Moderna vaccine. He disclosed that the Nigeria government had earlier acquired an additional 60 ultra-cold freezers that would accommodate both Moderna and Pfizer vaccines. The Department of State Services on Monday presented 8 aides of Sunday Igboho who were arrested on July 1st at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The aides were arrested when DSS officials raided Igboho's home on July 1st, but have sued on the grounds that their fundamental human rights were being infringed on. A lawyer to the arrested aides, Belumi Olajigbeshi, sued the DSS, claiming that his clients have remained on the ground for weeks. Ruling on the suit, Justice Obiora Iguatu had ordered the DSS to produce 12 aids on July 29th. But on court today, the DSS failed to honor the directive. The judge issued another order and adjourned the case to August 2nd. However, only 8 out of the 12 aids paraded on July 1st made it to court on Monday. Lawyer to the aides Olagbeshi asked the court to mandate DSS to produce the last 4 aids in court at the next date of the hearing on August 4th. Elsewhere, the Kaduna State Police Command is cracking down banditry. It says over 198 persons have been rescued from January to date. The report.
While parading multiple suspects, the police command disclosed the deployment of more personnel to secure vulnerable schools in the state. The outgoing Commissioner of Police, newly promoted to the rank of Assistant Inspector General, Umar Mori, assured the public that despite the activities of bandits that hindered farmers to access their farms, the command will put in more efforts to ensure safety on their farms.
Schools, the schools in this state are massive. Despite the fact that they are massive, they are many. There are over 4,000 secondary school universities and whatever in the state. And we really did some deployment, and we have intensified security around the schools, and I've directed all the DPOs to ensure that all the schools within their domains are well protected.
He also stressed the implications of banditry on food security.
It is a fact where farming is disrupted in a given community, farming is beckoned at a speedy rate to befall that same community. This is one of the glaring challenges that stare us right into our eyes as a state and the nation at large. Our farmers, as we speak, cannot go to their farms free-minded to boost food production in the country. The obvious implication of this is a sharp rise of food scarcity and the likelihood of increase in criminality and violence across the country. It is on this note, gentlemen of the press, that the command has done and still doing everything possible to get farmers back to farm without fear of molestation or harassment from any quarter, especially now that we are in the middle of rainy season.
While rolling out the suspects, some of them were found with unlawful possession of firearms, accused of child snatching, rape, and armed banditry. The command also recovered submachine guns, AK-47 rifles, motorcycles, fake US dollars, among others.
Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission has moved the date for the conduct of council polls in the state from August 14th to September 4th. Chairman of the Commission, Senator Dikko Audu, announced this on Monday during an interactive session with stakeholders held at the headquarters of the Commission in Kaduna. Dikko Audu, who apologized to the electorate over the postponement, said the measure was necessitated by the late arrival of electronic voting machine batteries. Men of the police elite squad Operation Zenda in Benue State on Monday rescued the wife of the Commissioner for Lands and Survey, Anne Unenge. During the rescue operation, 3 kidnappers were killed by the police. Nenge was kidnapped on Saturday. The state governor Samuel Otom had confirmed the incident to journalists in Makurdi, where he called on the federal government to clamp down on bandits and kidnappers. He assured that all hands will be on deck to ensure the release of the victim. Now, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it is adopting a whole-society approach to rid Nigeria of illicit substances and drug abuse. Brigadier General Buba Marwa, Director General of the agency, disclosed this in Ibadan at the launch of a book titled Victory in Defeat, The Manifestation of God's Power, authored by Brigadier General Larinde Lauli, retired. The report.
Marwa, who was the chairman of the occasion, told journalists after the event that President Muhammadu Buhari has mandated the agency to adopt all effective means to execute the task to ensure security of the country. According to him, the proceeds of drugs and illicit substances are used to commit criminal activities.
As far as security is concerned, most of the criminalities, most of them, the banditry, the kidnapping, armed robbery, insurgency, all those use drugs. Because you can't commit some of these crimes in your normal sense. So that's the first point. Second, the use of the proceeds to commit the criminal activities. Because they have to fund, they have to buy weapons, logistics for themselves. This all, that's the reason why, mandated by the president, we're cleaning up this country of illicit substances wherever they are. The cultivation of hemp, cannabis, we go into the forests, into the farms, seize, destroy, and prosecute. That's the law enforcement aspect, those who are offenders. We block all the imports and exports of drugs. The traffickers, we are relentless and offensive in our activities. It's very, very important.
The NDLEA boss said that the measures put in place by the agency were yielding results as winning the war against illicit drugs and substances was making progress.
Definitely, every single kilogram of cannabis, of methamphetamine, or heroin, or cocaine, which we seize or destroy, as the case may be, depending on the court for future orders, is 1 kilogram less on the streets. So that's already ongoing, and the advocacy is picking up. We're going to go down to all the communities. There has to be a fresh structure for war against drug abuse. So definitely there's progress.
Following fresh terrorism and treasonable felony charge filed by Kaduna State government against Ibrahim Lazazaki and his wife Zinat, human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has released a statement saying the new charge constitutes the worst abuse of the process of the Federal High Court. He says once the case charge is served on the defense, he will not hesitate to file the necessary application for the immediate termination of the prosecutorial charade. Falana, who is the lead counsel to El-Zazzagi, described the development as a desperate bid by the Kaduna State government to frustrate the release of the defendants from further incarceration. Attorney General of Kano State and Commissioner for Justice Musa Lawal has granted fiat to Sani Katu, a senior advocate of Nigeria, to take over prosecution of the Kano controversial Sheikh Abdul Jabbar Kabara. Abdul Jabbar is facing charges bordering on blasphemy and inciting public before an upper Sharia court. The senior state counsel represented the Attorney General at the previous sitting of the court at Kofar Kudu. The matter is adjourned to August 18th for hearing. You're watching Trust TV News. Coming up after the break, Abuja banks comply with CBN directive. Do stay with us.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
My name is Samuel Dada. Yakubu Isa, ana mana kabi da jeje. Aminu Musa. A wannan harkar ce muke dan samun abinci, har muke taimaka mu wasu da yawa.
Looking for private jobs, sometimes you get employed and the process of payment, you undergo some kind of stress.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the recap of our major stories. The Kaduna State Police Command cracks down banditry, saying over 198 persons have been rescued from January to date. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, adopts whole society approach to rid Nigeria of illicit substances and drug abuse. Still ahead, President of National Cotton Association of Nigeria, Anibiachi Mugu, says the textile industry promises a major revenue earner from the non-oil sector of Nigerian economy amidst dwindling global oil price. The president, however, said rising spate of insecurity in the country is hampering on the efforts of government to diversify the economy, particularly the agricultural sector. In an interview with Trust TV, the president also said the impact of insecurity on cotton production in the country is enormous.
To tend to their farms, and in some cases also to harvest. So what that means, obviously, is that you have lost that investment. That farmer has lost that investment. Now, the Anchor Borrowers Program is a loan. Now, what it means is that that farmer is owing, not through any fault of his or hers, but it is the situation. He doesn't have arms, he can't protect himself. And even if you come together and say, okay, look, let's provide security for ourselves, it's a cost that you have not planned for, that you can't have enough funds at that level to provide and protect yourself and your family. So these things are real, unfortunately. But I can tell you that in 2019, perhaps our incident level would have been less than maybe like a 1%. But 2020, perhaps, I don't know whether it was the COVID-19 pandemic that added to, the desperation that now became order of the day, right into 2021 that we're talking about. If you go to the dailies now, yesterday, incident happened in Niger, for instance. Today is in Kaduna. It's on a daily basis. So I'd say from where you jump from 1%, we're talking about maybe 25% to 30%. It's significant. So yes, it has impacted significantly. Even our harvest as a cotton association, there are places that you can't go to. And as president.
For more on that interview, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media handles. Now, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State has promised his government's commitment to continue to improve sports facilities to empower youth and develop the economy of the state. Makinde made the promise while inspecting ongoing infrastructure projects, including the Akobo General Gas Flyover, the 21-kilometer Ajah Airport to New Ife Expressway, with Spur to Muloko and the Lekon Salami Sports Complex remodeling project. The governor told journalists at the Lekon Salami Sports Complex in Adamasiba, shortly after inspecting the project, that he was satisfied with the quality and pace of the work done so far by the contractors.
I would say so far so good. The scope is well covered. We've made quite some progress. The schedule is also been followed. So I would say I'm excited. I'm actually looking forward to the official opening, which now is being pushed to around the 1st of September. I'm excited. I look forward to our darling team, our Shooting Stars, beating the foreign team. When I was campaigning, people ask me questions about, job opportunities for our youth. And I said, discovering talent, sporting talents for us is one way of engaging our youth.
The permanent secretary of the Presidential Villa Abuja, Tijan Umar, has commended park rangers in the villa for protecting the wild animals and plants in the official seat of government. Umar gave the commendation when he received a delegation of rangers in his office. The delegation was led by Kehinde Abidemi, Assistant Conservator of Parks and Wildlife Curator Dr. Haruna Tanku, the head of the Presidential Villa Veterinary Unit. The permanent secretary paid tribute to rangers in the country who had lost their lives in line of duty since inception of Nigeria's national parks in 1991.
Heroes, that's rangers that died in line of duty. Since the inception of the Nigerian national parks in 1991, we've had over 50 rangers that have died in line of duty, killed by poachers, maimed, killed by wild animals. And on a day like this, we also pay tribute to our fallen hero rangers. And we, as I'll term us the Royal Rangers now, we want to say a very big thank you to the Permanent Secretary for giving us the opportunity to serve in our own little way in the wildlife, in the Presidential Wildlife Collection and the State House. And we request that the Permanent Secretary stand with the World Rangers on the occasion of 2021 World Rangers.
And in business, in compliance with the new foreign exchange regulation by the Central Bank of Nigeria, commercial banks in Abuja have set up dedicated teller points for foreign exchange transactions in their branches. A visit to some commercial banks in Abuja on Monday by the News Agency of Nigeria showed that they were in full compliance to the directive. Checks at Fidelity Bank, Keystone Bank and Zenith Bank, all in the central area of Abuja, show that they all had designated teller points for forex transactions. Officials at the bank say dollar was selling at an official rate of 412. They added that each traveler was entitled to buy $4,000 per quarter for personal travels and $5,000 per quarter for business travels. Nigeria has left the Maritime Organization for West and Central Africa. This is contained in a statement issued by the Director of Press and Public Relations Ministry of Transportation, Eric Ojiekwe, on Monday in Abuja. Ojiekwe explained that this followed disregard for the rules of procedure regarding the eligibility of candidates nominated for the position of the organization's Secretary General. According to him, Nigeria's delegation expressed sadness at the outcome of the meeting, given Nigeria's ardent and consistent support for MOCA and its activities over the years. And in foreign scene, death toll from 6 straight days of wildfires in Turkey has risen to 8, while in neighboring Greece, firefighters attempted to contain a blaze that has destroyed houses and hospitalized more than a dozen people. Experts have warned that climate change is increasing both the frequency and intensity of such fires. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis warned on Monday that Greece is suffering its worst heat wave since 1987, as forecasters said temperatures could reach 45 degrees in the coming days. Back here in Africa, a total of 1,200 people received their COVID-19 vaccine jab in one of the centers in Tunis as the vaccination campaign speeds up in Tunisia. The country, which has suffered the biggest number of COVID-19 deaths in North Africa, has been struggling to contain its outbreak of Delta variant and hopes to vaccinate half of its population by mid-October. A Sierra Leonean judge, Justice Tonia Barnett, has sought the support of diplomats from Africa for the position of Commissioner for the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. At a dinner where she hosted ambassadors and high commissioners from various African countries, Barnett said protection of rights is her passion, hence the zeal for the position. She said being a judge who has never been investigated and whose morality has never been questioned, she has met the qualification criteria for the job as stipulated by the Article 31 of the Charter of African Human and People's Rights.
For the position of Commissioner, what I bring is vitality. We need to go down. We need to get up from the chairs and do the work. We need to canvass with state parties to understand that human rights issue is not just a one-party issue. It's everybody's issue. And if the citizens' rights are being jeopardized, it allows for uprising. A peaceful society will not be enhanced. And as Africans, we want a peaceful society.
And in sports, Nigeria on Monday was guaranteed its first medal at the Tokyo Olympics after Blessing Oborududu won her women's freestyle 68-kilogram wrestling semi-final match. Oborududu beat Mongolia's Basetseg Soronzobold to reach the final. Although the final match is yet to be played, she is now guaranteed either a gold or silver medal. Oborududu is also set for the record books as Nigeria's first ever Olympic medalist in wrestling. Now, away from hard news, empowering women is essential to the health and social development of families, communities, and countries. When women are living safe, fulfilled, and productive lives, they can reach their full potential, contributing their skills to the workforce and can raise happier and healthier children. But in a circumstance where all these are absent, some women are forced to do informal jobs to support their families. Take a look.
Look at her hands, raw, nubbly, and calloused. Look at her face, like a bean seed soaked in brine. For countless years, she has toiled to wash clothes in frost-freckled mornings and in sun-scorched afternoons. She had drifted murmurless.
Ni daga Nasarawa State, daga Doba Local Government. To wannan sana'a na fara shekara na 50 nake sana'a nan.
This is the interstice where these women wash people's clothes. It is a streamlet located in Gwarimpa metropolis. They left home over 214 kilometers away. What is distinct about them is that they belong to the same kindred. They are women who take the bacon home.
I don't have anyone to help me. I have 9 children. This is what I take care of myself and my kids with, from feeding to school fees, health and everything. I've been here since 2000. I do this to help myself and to help my child who is in school. I pay my fees and that of my child. Every morning I go out to scout for clothes to wash. When I do, I come back to the streamlet to wash.
Well, with this, we've come to the end of News Update for tonight. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thanks for your time and company.